This is my friend Dan. I call him Dan the Man. He spends most of his time traveling around in his customized van, experiencing all kinds of events throughout the land. I got him into archery 2 years ago, and he recently bought this used compound bow. Harvesting his own meat has a greater appeal for this former vegetarian looking for an all-natural meal. So now he's ready to deer hunt for the very first time.
The core program stands for Conservation Outdoor Recreation Education. Anybody who wants to get a hunting license in the province of BC must have a BC resident hunter's number card. And in order to take that, to get that, they have to write an exam. They have to know how to learn to read the regulation synopsis, the hunting and trapping synopsis that comes out every year. So on the Queen Charlotte, there's quite an abundance of deer. And when there is an abundance of deer population in a remote area where they can't get new bloodlines in, the deer population tends to be smaller than when there's a vast area that they can cover. Here's your certificate. And you just sign right there. Okay, take that and 2 pieces of ID to either one of these government agents to get your BC resident hunter's number card, and sign here saying that you got your certificate. Okay, we're all finished. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? Daniel.
Mike?
Nice to meet you. I bought this bowl secondhand. And I got a couple questions about it. I wonder if it's. I want to go hunting, so wonder if this is shooting right. It seems like I'm keep adjusting it.
The things we want to go over though when we have a used bow like this is we want to make sure that the limbs are intact, that the cams, cables, and string system are all in good condition. You know, for safety and also for performance, make sure that the bow is going to shoot right. So we just always check our limbs over and make sure that everything's okay. And I'll show you exactly what the problem is with this bow. If you look right here, you can see there's an actual delamination of the limb occurring.
Whoa!
The limb is actually splitting right across. You could almost, if you had a real bright light, you could probably see right through that limb from the side.
This thing is just about to break.
Yeah, and if you look here in the belly of the limb, you can see all these little micro fractures are lifting right up.
Yeah.
So slowly the limb is actually compressing and it's going to actually break right in half in this area right here.
That could have snapped in my face.
Exactly.
How much is a new bow? How much is that?
Well, you can get a new compound at, say, around $300, $349 and up.
Yeah.
And with a new bow, basically what you're getting is a really good warranty.
Yeah.
You're getting a high-performance cam system.
I don't end up with something like this.
Yeah, that's kind of the chance you take when you buy used equipment. Being that I've been in the business for so many years, I can sort of spot the trouble areas right away.
Yeah, another thing now, how about arrows? I need some arrows. So if I buy a bow, can I use the same arrows? How does it work?
Well, let's take a look at a few different types of arrows right here. This is an aluminum shaft, and this is a carbon graphite. And the big differences between these two, not only is the material different, but we have a much lighter shaft with the graphite than we do with the aluminum, and we have a different component system in the two. This one uses internal components, and that the knock and also the insert system go inside the shaft like this, whereas with this aluminum arrow right here, the knock actually goes over the back of the shaft. It's an injection molded knock, and the shaft on the back here is actually swaged to form a taper.
Be some heads. What do you put for heads? We'll be shooting deer, so.
Okay, yeah, for hunting purposes, the first one I'll show you is what we call the replaceable blade system. This is 3 blades, and why it's called a replaceable blade, that if you're shooting with this head and you were to damage one of these edges of these blades, you can actually slide the blades out and replace the blades individually, or all 3, whatever you desire. Another style that we have is what we call a mechanical broadhead. In this case here, we have 2 blades instead of 3, and these actually will activate much like a jackknife. Upon impact, the O-ring will slide down the shaft and allow the blades to actually spin back into position so that they're flying closed through the air, and on impact and penetration the blades will open up and form this type of a configuration.
Okay, now I just finished the core program and I need a hunting license.
Yeah, you sure
Right here?
can. We sell
Okay.
licenses here for hunting and all the tags that you would need for whatever species that you're going to go after.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your expertise. That was really informative.
You're welcome. We like to present the information and allow the customer to decide what's going to be the best product for them.
All right. Well, okay. So I'll see you in a couple days for my arrows, and it was nice to meet you, Mike.
You bet.
And
Thank you very much,
Talk
Daniel.
to you later.
Have a great day.
A 2-hour flight from Vancouver Airport, and we land at Sandspit Airport, located on Moresby Island, the second largest of the two main Queen Charlotte Islands. From there, we take a 45-minute boat ride to South Moresby Island. This is our guide, Paul. He's originally from Denmark. Paul loves the remoteness of these islands. He told me they lived with the Eskimos for 5 years and learned how to live off the land and how to survive. Now he manages this lodge at South Moresby. It's 10,000 square feet and 14 rooms. It's a former fishing camp that he's turned into an ecotourism camp. The very next day, we decided to head out on the trail. Some of the largest trees on Earth are found here. Dan spots some chanterelle mushrooms and decides to pick them.
Alright. Nice one here. This one's been stepped on, but it's still good. Yeah, it's nice and clean. Well, I got some mushroom for my breakfast tomorrow. Like that spruce, man. That's a beauty, that one there. Look how fat, straight it is. One of those, I can build myself a house with just one.
Dan decides to climb a tree to get a better look. He's in pretty good shape for 48 years old. Looks like he's not the only one up here. I can't believe he climbed that high. There's plenty of estuaries like this one, and they're great places to scope for deer. The Queen Charlotte's consists of 138 islands of all different shapes and sizes. There's also 42 freshwater lakes here.
A lot of tracks here.
As I was setting my camera up, I noticed these two little fellas. To my surprise, they were so curious they had to run up to the camera and have a look at me. They got within 25 feet of me before getting scared and hopping off. As we came around a corner, this guy was wondering what we were doing on his road. I quickly set up my camera, expected him to run away from us. Instead, his curiosity got the best of him. And with Paul's coaxing, this approximately 3-year-old bear just had to get a good sniff of him. I wouldn't recommend getting this close to any size bear. Paul explained to me that these animals have never encountered man. But if one attacks him, just keep filming. He can handle them. As he pointed to his knife.
That's incredible.
The forest floor is carpeted in moss. Queen Charlotte's is known as the moss capital of the world. Exceptional numbers of mosses and liverworts grow here, some of which are only exclusive to the Charlottes. Well, Paul was snacking on some wild huckleberries. This mother and her cub were patiently waiting for him to finish so they can come down and eat. There's lots of beachfront property here. 1,600 kilometers of coastline.
He's more like 35 meters. He's got his back to me. Oh, what did I do? Like, oh, my arrow fell like this. That's when he, and then you made a little bit of noise, just slightly. Slight little noise. Well, this is the nicest one I've seen so far. Yeah, yeah.
Finally, Dan spots a good-sized buck and begins to stalk him.
I hit it pretty low, so a good shot. It was almost a hard shot, I think. And so the arrow probably went into the root of the grass or something. We can't find it. That's the wrong grass.